as well as gentlemen, or should I say good morning. It's been a late night here for Papa Boris. I was going to play one Hearthstone arena run and go to bed like a responsible adult, but it went badly, so I was like, well, let's play one more, and then go to bed like a semi-responsible adult. And then that went badly, so I was like, you know, well, let's just play another run like an irresponsible child. And so here we are, finishing off an arena. This Shaman deck seems very good. I think it is a very good deck, and it has performed very well, so I'm hoping it continues to do so. We have removal. We have a play. Do I want to mulligan this back? Yeah. Well, it's one of those things I was talking about in my last arena. So it's a win-win, sort of, kind of, if you think about it. Either my creature lives, in which case my creature lives, or my creature dies, in which case I get to play a 5/4. Yeah, we'll keep it. Seems fine. I've got removal. I mean, 1 mana for 3 damage is pretty spectacular. Having it twice is really great. Blood Imp, oh god, well, that could be problems. That could be problems. What I really need is a Forked Lightning, so I can flush this thing out. That's actually the only removal I have for it. Okay. So we got a summoning portal opened here. Luckily, I can still kill it. I could use a lightning bolt against it, but there are a couple of reasons why I prefer the Rockbiter Weapon there. 1, I don't care about the damage to my face at this time. 2, I'm not overloaded, so I don't have to use my coin next turn to play the Grizzly. And 3, lightning bolt gets boosted by spell damage, so it might be better later. My opponent had nothing on the 3rd turn, which is really good news for me. I got a couple of options here. I can play the Manatite Totem, draw a card. That's a bit greedy, though, don't you think? Let's actually just coin out this Brewmaster. He's big. So my opponent could Shadow Bolt it to death, and that's alright. But I don't have very much taunt, and I actually would like to keep this taunt around if I can to protect my Manatite Totem, since I did draw it. I've got Hexes, which is both good and bad. If my opponent plays, like, one big thing, like a Chillwind Yeti, well, then it's great. But if he plays, like, lots of little things, like this then it starts to get kind of ugly. Because of these Blood Imps, this thing actually does not die to my Brewmaster. So what we're going to do is, yeah, we're going to do this. And then, I'm going to Hex this. I've got another Hex behind it. My opponent is essentially down 2 cards because he played these 2 Blood Imps. Granted, it means all his creatures have +2 health, and there's nothing I can do about that. He's going to do that. He's got a 2/7. Alright, that's fine. I think I would have actually attacked my Panda here. Oh my god. Trank. I think I've actually played against this person before. He's just going for the all goddamn Blood Imp strategy. Well, the one thing he does not have is power. He may have a lot of health, but he's not actually going to easily get to kill my creatures here unless he gets some Dark Iron Dwarves out here. God, this is so idiotic with these Blood Imps. I think I'm just going to have to start ignoring all of my opponent's creatures and killing. Lightning Bolt, not very good anymore. I mean, everything has +3 health, so this is just going to kill nothing, unless I can deal damage to it through other means. There's a Flesh-Eating Ghoul with, you know, a cool 6 health. Just totally fine. And he looks like he is going to go after my creature there. He's going to draw a card after playing a card and after attacking, which is, of course, a mistake. You always want to draw cards first. He's going to pass the turn, fingering a card on his way out. Well, I could Hex this ghoul. Yep, I think we're going to do this. So first I'm going to attack. So basically I am just trying to ignore his creatures as much as I can. Then we're going to Hex this. And then I'm going to play this Baird, which is actually on the board quite good. He's stopping the Storm of Night from doing, well, pretty much anything. So my opponent needs to get some removal here, or else he's going to be in big trouble. Now this Frog, because of all these Blood Imps, actually... Mortal Claw, yes, of course. It's kind of awkward. My bear couldn't kill it. My bear died anyway, so I guess I don't care. He got that, which is a very good card here under the circumstances. The Yeti actually survives a whack from it, which is interesting. I have to spend a turn killing my frog, sadly. But what I do have is actually 2 lightning bolts. And what that means is that I can, if I got 6 damage in my back pocket, If I can just deal 8 damage to my opponent, then I'll win the game. Now that's getting harder and harder, because he's life tapped enough that he's actually made up for the life disadvantage from playing all these Blood Imps. I basically can't remove anything. I've used my hexes. I don't know if I have any more. So if he can get to the point where he can just kill all of my stuff and not lose any of his stuff, I'll be in big trouble. Alright. He's actually going to reveal a Blood Imp to kill my creature, which is smart. I think my opponent's going to win this goddamn retarded game. Let's just play Manatite Totem to draw a card. And Flame Tongue Totem's totally pointless here. Lightning Bolt, I could use it to pick off these creatures, but I mean, realistically, is that going to make a difference? No, I think my only hope is for him to be dumb for some reason and decide to leave my stuff alive. Then I can play Flame Tongue Totem, buff it, attack, and then get close to the point where I can win with Lightning Bolts. My opponent's not having any of that, though. He's going to kill everything I play. He's actually going to kill off his own Rocketeer. That was a bit of a mistake. He should have attacked with the Rocketeer first. He seems to have forgotten that he had a Wild Pyromancer in play, which I'm fine with. He's going to reveal everything now. Okay. That's interesting. Is he going to life tap? I wish I had seen a Lightning Storm. It's a shame that Lightning Storm is a rare. He could have dealt 5 extra damage to me. Flame Imp? Alright, that's 2 damage to him. He's going to return that to his hand, which is fine. So Lightning Bolt is 6 damage. I saw no Lava Bursts, unfortunately. He's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 16 damage, plus the Argent Commander is 17. So I do have to kill some stuff here, unfortunately. Let's see if I can flip a Taunt Totem. I cannot. Let's do this. And I guess we've got a... Oh, man, I think he's just going to win, though. God, this game was so idiotic. I hate this Blood Imp nonsense. It's Earth Shock. Well, Earth Shock this. And, Lightning Bolt that. I think he still wins. He's got 5, 6, plus 6 is 12. Plus 4 is 16 damage. So I'm alive at 1 health, unless he has a way of dealing damage, which he appears to. He's attacking me with rather a lot of gusto. And Soulfire. God damn it, that was... I apologize, I'm about to say a naughty word. That was retarded. That's actually the second time, I think, was it the same person? Trank is a very familiar name. This might have been the same person who beat me the same way before, playing as a Warlock, just having lots of Blood Imps. And his creatures all got big, and he was able to life tap his way out of the card disadvantage that was incurred by having 3 Blood Imps. So I don't know how many Blood Imps, first of all, to see 3 of any card in a draft is pretty unlikely, and second of all, to draw all of it is also unlikely. So I don't know how many he drafted and how many he got, but that was really idiotic. So that game sucks. I'm going to call, pardon, bad word coming up, I'm going to call bullshit on that one. So anyway, I don't care that I lost that game, because it was ridiculous. And the 2 wins that we had were really good, so I feel like this deck can still go the distance. Let's see who we're up against. A Mage. Ash, the Mage. Not a big fan of Hex this early, or Earth Shock. Although I might need to silence a Mana Worm if it gets out of hand, so we'll keep the Earth Shock around. So this is a bit of a slow start. We have 3 and 4, but no 1 or 2. So if my opponent has a fast start, I'll be behind. But I do have silence, which can help, potentially. Against a Mirror Image, Earth Shock can also be helpful, because it can turn off the taunt and let you surprise kill one of his things. Well, Lightning Bolt's good, so I have removal now. My opponent had nothing on turn 1, so no use for the coin, which is good. I flipped, of course, the worst totem possible, which is Dice to Hero ability. Granted, my opponent may have better things to do. She appears not to, so she also has a slow start. Well, this is looking okay. I've got some removal and some good cards. Chances are she also has removal. Do I want her to use my removal on the Flesh-Eating Ghoul or on the Manatite Totem? I would rather she use removal on the Mana-Tide Totem, because this draws me a card and the Flesh-Eating Ghoul doesn't. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm gambling that she has removal, like a Frostbolt, and she's going to send it at the Mana-Tide Totem. I mean, if I'm wrong, this is going to draw me 2 cards, and then I get to play Chillwind Yeti, which is also fine. She could still play a Frostbolt, because this has an effect that makes spells cheaper, so Frostbolt is still playable. She has Mirror Image. Well, that's interesting. So, that does mean that if I'd played the Flesh-Eating Ghoul last turn, I could kill a Mirror Image and start to grow it. And the Sorcerer's Apprentice could then kill my Mana-Tide Totem. I don't really feel any particular reason to try to protect that Mana-Tide Totem, though. I'll just play my big Yeti. I drew 2 cards off of it. That's fine for 3 mana. And my opponent, wastes an attack killing it, which is also fine. She's going to draw a card. She should have done this first before attacking my totem, just in case, but it probably wasn't going to matter. We'll do this, and I think this guy's good. Next turn for 6 mana, I do want to play the Wind Fury Harpy, so I don't want a Lightning Bolt right now to kill off the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Earthshock, we'll pass the turn. So my opponent needs some removal spells to be able to deal with this board, because my creatures own hers rather hard. Let's see what she's got, but if she doesn't have it right here, I'll get ahead. Because I can actually play the Wind Fury. The Wind Fury Harpy is actually playable in this situation, which is kind of nifty. Stormwind Champion's also a consideration. At 6 mana, for example, rather than the Harpy, I could play it and the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. The problem is we're a couple turns away from Flame Strike. And the Wind Fury Harpy, although her stats are bad for a 6 mana creature, does have 5 health, which is very important for surviving Flame Strike. We have a Frostbolt, freezing that in place and allowing the Engineer to kill it. And she's going to swing at me. Okay. Well, let's think about this. Could play the Bluegill Warrior, kill the Mirror Image. Unfortunately, this goes to 4 health, or 4 attack, then the Yeti almost dies, killing it. I've got 4 mana left. I could play, say, a Flesh-Eating Ghoul of my own, and Earthshock this thing to death. Well, that seems good. I'm putting a lot of creatures on the board, but Flame Strike is a turn away. Let's see, I could also Earthshock the Mirror Image. This would allow me to preserve an extra point of health on the Yeti. And then use this to kill the Sorcerer's Apprentice and die. I like that plan. So let's play the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Let's Earthshock this thing. Now we can... Whoa. That would have been a terrible error. First kill the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Then kill that thing. So my opponent has a choice. Either she uses this Gnomish Inventor, plus Hero ability to kill the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, spending a third of her mana for the turn, or she can kill this without spending any mana, but then this gets really big. So then she would have to have like a Frostbolt to take care of this. Uh-oh, that's a bit scary. Arcane Explosion would be really good here. Cone of Cold, it's also really good, so the Flesh-Eating Ghoul is just about dead, and quite frozen. My opponent will cheekily leave the Flesh-Eating Ghoul around, hoping I don't have any heals. Well, I don't, but I do have Stormwind Champion. That seems like a good move. So what this does is it forces my opponent to use the Gnomish Inventor if she wants to kill the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Flame Strike, because of this, deals 5 damage to everything. My opponent seems not to have the Flame Strike, which is just fine by me. There's a Polymorph, which is less fine by me. And a Demolisher. She wisely kills the sheep. Fort Laning doesn't do me any good. Wind Fury Harpy, though. It would be nice to kill that Demolisher. I'm actually going to flip a Totem to distract the attention of the Demolisher. So the Wind Fury Harpy is pretty good here. It's threatening to kill the Demolisher and the Dalaran Mage and live to tell about it. A Flame Strike will kill it. Frostbolt plus her ability will kill it. But if she doesn't have the removal here, she's going to be in a bit of trouble. I actually have a lot of removal myself, so I can start to use it in case things go awry and my Wind Fury Harpy dies. Alright, she seems to have a spell coming up. Frost Nova. Well, it's not the worst thing in the world. She gets a 1-1, true, and my Wind Fury Harpy's held off. But it definitely could have been worse. So basically, I'm just being overrun by lots of little stuff that I can't kill because I never saw Lightning Storm in this draft. And I can't really get stuff onto the board either because I don't have the right removal spells. Well, let's go ahead and do some obvious things here. So we're going to Rockbiter Weapon to kill this guy, because you really don't want to let your opponent keep spell power around. Now you have to make an ugly choice between getting rid of the Demolisher or getting rid of the Violet Teacher. Well, I think the Violet Teacher is more important to get rid of. Because this it's hard for it to hit the right targets. Since there's an Imp here and a Totem, it's hard for it to hit the Wind Fury Harpy, which is what it really wants to hit. So my opponent's board is actually kind of unimpressive. The really scary thing is the potential for her to have Flame Strike. Granted, that will be her entire turn. So, you know, I could still live. I could still win. She's going to silence the Wind Fury Harpy, so it's not got Wind Fury anymore, but I'd rather that than Flame Strike to kill it. So that's fine. Coin. Alright. Wow, I forgot she had that. Showwind Yeti. And a Warden. That Warden is unbelievably good, because I really need to kill this Demolisher, and I can't. Let's go ahead and play Novice Engineer to see if we can get an answer. Hex. Am I really going to Hex the Warden? Well, let's first of all flip a Totem. If I get spell damage, I can finally kill the Demolisher. I do not. This seems like a pretty good move. Forked Lightning, is that it? I don't think that's a good move. So this is everything that my opponent has. I'm actually going to Hex this Yeti. And I'll start to work on this Warden. Actually, I can finish work on this Warden. And I think I might as well just Forked Lightning. Plus some other stuff. Okay. So, the Demolisher is very distracted by all the junk that I have. The Healing Totem is really good, because it heals back my Wind Fury Harpy, although it's no longer Wind Fury. It is a 4-4, which is kind of owning the board right here. My opponent has a 0-1, a 1-1, a 0-1, and a 1-2 Demolisher. Piece of crap. So she's in top deck mode. A Flame Strike would be pretty good for her. It would kill everything I have. But I do have a 5-4 coming back down, so I would again own the board, plus whatever I top deck. So we're basically in top deck mode, but I have the advantage. The reason I have the advantage is that, like, the best card she could have, I'm still fine, and so I'm ahead in our war here. Phases Manipulators, copying a silenced Wind Fury Harpy. That is a 4-4 for 5 mana, which is highly unimpressive. That is fine. Is there anything else she could have copied? I don't think that's a whoops. I mean, there's no better creature to copy. An Imp Master? No. Just going to pick off my Imp, which is fair enough. She's going to use the Demolisher and the 1-1 to kill off my Healing Totem. Also very fair. Knife Juggler seems good here. Do I play my guy? Let's just flip the Totem. Alright, so what we'll do is this, actually, and use the Imp Master to pick that off. Alright, that was a good knife flip, although it had a 50-50 chance of killing off something. So I'd say I'm very, very, very ahead here. Although now if my opponent Flame Strikes, she has a 4-4, so I'd play my 5-4 and they would trade. Crossbolt. Okay, well that's actually totally fine. So she killed my biggest threat. She gets to kill this thing, and she gets to kill my Imp Master. No big deal. I wish I had a healing totem, then this would have been a 4-5. I could have killed the Wind Fairy Harpy. Granted, then she would have just pinged it, so that would have been okay for her. So I've got a 5-4 here, plus whatever it is that I'm drawing. So I feel like I am in better shape to win than she is, although I'm kind of distressed that this actually ended up going to a top deck war, because I feel like my deck was pretty strong. Granted, mages, mages are always just so good. Okay, let's go ahead and make a totem. And play the Kodo. So the idea I have here is that if my opponent plays another creature with 2 power, I can panda back the Kodo and call it a day. If she doesn't, what I'll probably do is actually panda back the Imp Master and replay it. Oh no, my opponent's going to stop that. Okay, she's going to not let me do that. Fair enough. I was going to panda back the Imp Master and then replay it. Okay, anyway, we're going to do this, make a totem, and make this guy. So Flame Strike plus Hero ability could kill off the Kodo, but this guy would survive. So my opponent is very, very badly off at this time. Just going to draw 2 cards. So this is about as good as the Cold Light Oracle gets, but I'm going to optimistically assume that my opponent just had a terrible rare pick, because this card is so bad when it's not in constructed. I have 7, 10, 11, 12 damage. That's probably going to have to die. I cannot do the Panda Kodo trick to kill the Cold Light Oracle, because my stuff is more expensive, thanks to the Venture Code. So this Cold Light Oracle is about as good as that stupid thing gets. Let's take a look here. Well, let's just keep it simple. So we'll do that, and that. We'll do that, and that. And now I'll play a Knife Juggler, flip a totem, deal damage to her, pass the turn. I could have done that first, seen if the flip would have allowed like the Kodo to kill the 4/4, but I think this was fine. Flame Strike would of course kill everything, but that would be pretty much her whole turn, and then my Ventricle Mercenary would be dead, so I could rebuild. A second Flame Strike would again kill everything, but she'd have to get lucky top decking 2 Flame Strikes like that. She has her own Ventrico. Well, that is not good here because it has to go through this Taunt Totem, unfortunately, for my opponent. So what we're going to do is that. Make a totem. I've got 7, 10, 14. We'll play one more creature. And swing. So my opponent really needs a Flame Strike now. She absolutely has to get it to survive. Even after she does get it, I can still play this and threaten to win again. But that's the thing about mages, they could always have an answer. She's going to Ice Lance her own creature. And pass the turn. Alright, that was amusing. Alright, well played, Ash the Mage. After a very demoralizing loss against a Blood Imp crazed Warlock, we finish off our daily quest, so we are clear. The docket is all empty for further daily questing, and we're up to 3 wins. Let's go ahead and see if we can go, as I like to say, to the distance. I think this deck should really be able to do it. If this deck doesn't go, I'm going to be sad. I feel like Shamans, one of the cool things about Shamans is they have lots of removal, so it's harder to get unlucky in the arena. And this deck is a demonstration of that. So we're up against another Warlock, Nell the Warlock, so we're not playing against Trank, the Blood Imp addicted Warlock. We'll keep the Chillwind Yeti because it's so good, but we'll pass back the Brewmaster in case we get something that can be played a bit earlier. Bluegill Warrior is actually great against Warlocks, so we'll see if he coins something out that the Bluegill Warrior will kill. Then that's what I will do, but otherwise, I'll play the Mana Wraith on turn 2, and then the Bluegill Warrior can actually be play it on turn 3 to kill something he might play. So the Mana Wraith could be handy. I am glad this was not a Ravenhold Assassin. I think it's been better than the Ravenhold Assassin would have been. Like, basically, it's been coming down when the Ravenhold Assassin would have still been sitting in my hand. Alright, happy to draw a Lightning Bolt here. Let's hope my opponent doesn't have any goddamn Blood Imps. Oh, please don't be Blood Imp. Meh. Coin, and please do think the Bluegill Warrior can kill Succubus. Oh, God. Well, you know what they say about desperate times. We have to use the Lightning Bolt here. Even though it does mean we're going to be overloaded on turn 3, and that does suck. This is not quite within the Bluegill Warriors League. So this is a good illustration, by the way, of what I don't like about the Succubus. It's 3 health, man. I wish she were a 3-4. Then this would be a real powerhouse of a card. It would survive against a lot of stuff. It would just own the game. And, you know, discarding a random card is a kind of serious drawback. I think then it would be a very strong thing that has a very strong drawback, and it would be fair. The fact that it... What is my opponent thinking about? Soulfire? What are you thinking about? Come on. Wisp? There you go. Pass the turn, buddy. So we're going to lose the turn here. We're not playing a creature. We are killing the Succubus. My opponent is probably very sad about that. My opponent's going to spend his turn to life tap, which is fine. So there is a drawback to playing Mana Wraith, which is that I don't get to play Chillwind Yeti on the next turn. But then again, I don't want to play this, deal 2 damage, and then have it die to a Mortal Coil either, so it's fine. We'll do this next turn. We can make a totem, or we can play Bluegill Warrior if we need to. This is stopping my opponent from playing Chillwind Yetis. He, in fact, just has nothing but a life tap. That's great. Immaster, that's a great turn 4 play. So this Mana Wraith, I don't know, but I think it's being really good right now. So we'll see. Does he have like a... So now he can play a 3-mana creature for 4 mana. Hellfire. That's pretty good. Not gonna lie, that's pretty good. Hey, this actually lived. Wow. Well, I think this is actually fine right now. Don't forget to attack with your little guys. It's actually a bit tricky for a Warlock to deal with this at 5 mana. 6 mana, obviously, there's Siphon Soul, but that is a rare. 5 mana? What is there? The Charging 5/7? It's got a Bane of Doom. He's gonna get a random demon. You got a Blood Imp. Well, that's the problem with Bane of Doom, folks. Sometimes you get that. Let's make a totem. No need to play this for 5 mana. This is fine. Swing for 7. If my opponent doesn't have a Siphon Soul, this game is going to be a bit of a demolition derby. The board was empty when I dropped this, so it's just like silly. Man, this makes me want to play a deck in Constructed with the Mana Wraith. Use cards like, I don't know, Animal Companion, which are like spells, so they dodge the ability. Or like, if you play as a Druid, you have like the thing that makes a Panther. I don't know, it seems like it would be a cool deck. We'll do this. We could play the Taunter, or the thing that hits slightly harder but doesn't have Taunt. Let's just play a Taunter. Might as well take this to distance. I bet my opponent's thinking like, God, this game was idiotic. He probably should actually have been attacking my Taunt Totem with the Blood Imp to kill it so the Tiger could attack my Ventrico. Don't forget that while the Blood Imp, should generally not be used for combat, you always have to remember it is a 1/1, and sometimes, as dinky as a 1/1 is, it's important to use it for its attacking purposes. Like, had he attacked with it the last 2 turns, this Taunt Totem wouldn't be here. Granted, I have a 3/5, which also taunts, but it would have given him a chance. Alright, Power Evolving on the Tiger. I don't know what that's going to do. Shadow Flame. Oh, it's going to kill all my stuff. That was really well played. So Shadow Flame, if you haven't seen that card before, destroy a friendly minion, deal attack damage to all enemy minions. Quite a good card. He should have drawn a card first, though, if he was going to draw a card. So I could play the Wind Fury Harpy and a Bluegill Warrior and deal 2 damage and threaten to win the game next turn, or I could still deal 2 damage and play more creatures and threaten to win, more. Let's... I can't. I'd have to be the Flesh-Eating Ghoul and the Raging Warg. Yeah, we'll do this. So basically, if my opponent has a Hellfire, it would kill him. So you can't play that. He did like another power overwhelming Shadow Flame combo. Shadow Flame is what? It's a rare? Yeah, it's a bit unlikely for him to be able to pull that off. Although if my opponent wins this game, he'll be like the best player in the world, Nell the Warlock. There's the Mortal Coil for my poor charging Murloc, drawing him a card. He does have a fistful of cards, so it's not unlikely for him to have answers. And Shadow Bolt. Well, he spent his whole turn killing everything I had played, which is fine. He's going to start using this Imp, which is also fine. Lightning Bolt. Alright, let's just cut these shenanigans short and give it well played. Well, that was a pretty good game. I got lucky that Bane of Doom gave him a Blood Imp rather than like an actual creature, but even if he had gotten an actual creature, I also flipped a Taunt Totem, so my 7/6 would have been around, and it probably would have been able to kill whatever demon he got. So, I think it was fine. The Mana Wraith was good for me. Slowed my opponent down to where I got, what is it? Ventricle Mercenary, the 7/6. For 5 mana with a drawback onto an empty board, and when you put those on an empty board and your opponent can't kill it, you're in good shape. Twaraxi, another mage. Ah, man. Mages are just... No matter who you are, you never feel good playing against a mage, because a mage could always win. Doesn't matter what the situation is, mages can always win. Well, let's get rid of the Earth Shock. We'll keep everything else. So we've got removal from my opponent's stuff here in a variety of forms. Single target, multi-target. And it would, of course, be nice to draw another creature that I could play, as opposed to more lightning bolts. But it's not also the end of the world just to play a totem on turn 2 and coin out the Sen'jin on turn 3. Alright, my opponent didn't have anything on her second turn, so that's fine. Let's see what I get. War Golem. Oh, wow, there's a friend I haven't seen in a while. Spell damage. That's actually potentially good. Probably not at 3 mana, but at 4 mana, there's a fair amount of things with 4 power that the Lightning Bolt would be happy to kill. My opponent does not have anything to do on turn 3, so she has a slow start as well as me. Knife Juggler. Let's hang on to this coin. The reason I'm hanging on to this coin is right now there's nothing to protect with taunt, so I don't care about it that much. And I'd actually like to coin out a Ventricle Mercenary on turn 4. If my opponent has a really slow start here, unless it's an Arcane Explosion. It is. Okay, well, whatever. So she killed my stuff, that's fine. Dropping a Ventricle onto an empty board is very, 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 very good. So basically, my opponent has to spend her entire turn polymorphing this or fireballing this. It's pretty much all she can do. I mean, she could Frostbolt it to delay the inevitable, but there's really nothing else that she can do. I guess she could play a 3-mana creature and Frostbolt, but if she had a 3-mana creature, she would have played her on turn 3, so she had to have top-decked it. Oh my god. I complain all the time about how I never get to Earthshock a Scarlet Crusader, and I mulliganed my Scarlet Crusader. Jesus. Well, we're going to make a totem, see what we got. The 1/1 is not the greatest. Is it worth hexing that? Yeah, let's hex it. Oh my god, I wish I'd kept Earthshock. If I'd kept it in my hand, I could have lived the dream to Earthshock a Scarlet Crusader, but alas. So this frog's being here is kind of nice. It means that basically Forked Lightning is on, as it were. My opponent, why would she do that? 4 damage is not a target mages need to hit. Yeah, there we go. Chillwind Yeti. Aha. Well, because of the disadvantage, I cannot play these creatures and Forked Lightning. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm just going to keep it cool. I'm going to make a totem. Healing Totem is nice. We're going to Forked Lightning to clear away the frog and damage the Yeti a little bit. Let's actually... Yeah, let's go crazy. Let's just Lightning Bolt that thing. Let's just try to get that Ventricle to go the distance. Because basically the best way to try to beat a mage is to get her down to the point where, you know, you can run by after she's stabilized the board. Mad Bomber. Wow, that's a bit of a desperate move. Mad Bomber's not super likely to be helpful. Fireball would have killed this anyway. If she had Polymorph, she should have Polymorphed first, then Mad Bomber to try to kill off the sheep. So she doesn't have those things. She has a Taunt. Ah, I cannot get past the Taunt. That is sad. Well, Flame Tongue Totem's a bit unplayable, unfortunately. Let's make a totem, see what we get. We got a Taunt, which is really nice, actually. Let's kill off her creature. and kill off her other creature. So finally she can kill this thing off. Flame Strike would get the job done. Frostbolt will get the job done. There's the Flame Strike. So I'm actually happy about Flame Strike. All that died was totems. Don't really care about them, and that was her whole turn. So now I have to choose very carefully how to rebuild. I can either play one creature, which is vulnerable to Polymorph, or I could play multiple creatures, which is vulnerable to a second Flame Strike. Let's actually go for the multiple creatures approach, because actually these are a little bit resistant. So she could Flame Strike and have 2 mana left over to either finish off the Senjin or finish off the Golem, but she can't kill both, unless she has an Arcane Explosion. She got Squire Attend Me, and Fairy Dragon. Well, I don't really care about that too much. This is all fine. So she's pinging... What is she doing? I'm going to ping the Harvest Golem, so when it attacks the Squire, it dies. Interesting. Rockbiter Weapon. Can I win? I got 3, 5, plus 4 is 9, plus 3 is 12 damage incoming. I don't feel quite safe enough to do that, I don't think. Wow, she'd be at 3 health. Maybe if I don't use the Rockbiter Weapon. How about we just do this? Yeah, let's play this, and hedge our bets, which I'm so fond of doing. We're going to kill her biggest creature. We're going to attack with our other creature. I gotta say that War Golem's pretty good in this circumstance. So she has to deal with this, of course. But then she also has to deal with this. She can use a hero ability to kill the Golem. She can, like, let's say, polymorph this thing. Pyroblast. Wow. Alright. Well, that is her whole turn, killing one creature. She could 2 for 1 to kill this thing, but she'd be in a bit of trouble then. She would really love to kill that Flame Tongue, but Taunt plus Flame Tongue is pretty good. Nope, you cannot do that, ma'am. So she can actually use hero ability to pick off the damaged Golem. So while she is card disadvantaging, she's actually holding on here because the Flame Tongue unfortunately cannot attack. Well, this is a bit sad because actually another Flame Strike would really do it for my opponent. I'm not going to overextend, I'm just going to pass the turn. So if she Flame Strikes, she Flame Strikes. Notice the card situation? She's actually doing really fine on cards if she Flame Strikes again. So this is what she just drew. It's not a Flame Strike. Whew. It's just a card drawer for 4 out of 10 mana. She top-decked a card and was really happy about it. Ice Lance. Well, it's not the greatest. It just freezes my creature. Emperor Cobra's kind of nifty. And she's going to work down my Taunt Totem. Smart move. The Ice Lance is kind of keeping her alive. I mean, it is. Yeah, I'd have 7 damage plus the Rockbiter Weapon. As it is, I have 2 plus 3 is 5 damage. Not quite enough. Let's make a totem. Fling a knife. I'm hoping they all go to her head, basically. Let's play one creature here. Fling another knife. I can actually kill this thing. Oh, I can't. Well, what am I talking about? Let's just do this. Swing. Pass the turn. Again, that's what I hate about playing against mages. You're always living in perpetual fear of a Flame Strike. She can finish this off with hero ability. She can use the Cobra to kill the 4/4, the 2/3 to kill the 5/2. I still got this 1/1 though, and a Flame Tongue Totem. So she has to answer this with what she has in her hand as well. And with 4 cards, a mage could in fact have plenty of answers. She's actually going to keep my 4/4 around, unless she of course has more freezing or other removal for it. Okay, so what does she have from my 2 creatures here? When you're up against a mage, you always have to, unless you're totally dominating and she's completely out of cards, you always have to play just enough to keep your edge. You cannot do any more for fear of running into a Flame Strike. Well, if the Wolf Rider kills the totem, that's encouraging because it means she has no way to deal an extra damage. So she spent the rest of her mana on that, and she's going to lose. Okay, whew. Well, we're finally going to get the win here. Let's just use the Bluegill Warrior that we just drew. And we're going to pass the turn and kill my opponent. Well, that mage hung on for dear life. Luckily, did she play Flame Strike? I think she... Did she play one? I think she did. I don't know. I always leave every game against a mage thinking, I survived Flame Strike, even if she didn't actually play Flame Strike. I survived the threat of Flame Strike. There we go. So that's our 5th win. We're at 5-1. Really, really strong deck. Finally, it's nice to have a deck performing as I expected. Watch me now lose the next 2 games. Well, we'll see. We'll try to stop that from happening. After a rough day at the Hearthstone office, it would be nice to get to 7 wins at least, so I'll be happy for that. That'll keep my percentage high, nice and high for Shaman. Hunter. Well, normally I am intimidated by Hunters, but I guess Shaman's a class I'm intimidated by Hunters the least. Maybe not the least, but I just feel like the totems and all the removal gives you a lot of versatility. We'll actually just keep this hand. So I have removal for his early plays. If he has no early plays, fine. I have stuff to do. I can make totems, I can make a Novice Engineer. Everything's fine. Coins coming out. Raptor. Okay. Well, the question is, do I use Lightning Bolt or Rockbiter Weapon to kill that thing? Or Mana Wraith? Well, let's use Lightning Bolt because I think I can actually handle the Overload next turn. So although Lightning Bolt is the more flexible card, it can go to the face, I would like to use it at a time when the Overload makes no difference. Leper Gnome. Okay. Well, given that this was what my opponent played, I don't really want my Mana Wraith or my Knife Juggler dying to it. So we'll play a Novice Engineer. That'll trade with this Leper Gnome just fine, and I can pass the turn. My opponent, what he really wants to do is play a taunt right now. That would probably be the best way to handle things. He's going to swing past me, which makes sense. Because why attack me if he knows I'm going to attack into him? Seems totally fair. Let's go ahead and play the biggest creature that we can play. Do that. And Rockbiter Weapon. And do that. So I'd say I came out ahead in the opening. Anything could still happen, but I have turn 4 has ended. I have a creature on the board. My opponent doesn't. We're 5 cards versus 5 cards, so basically my opponent has lost the card that he got by being the second player. That was thanks to my Novice Engineer. And this doesn't really help him get ahead at all, because I can trade and play Chillwind Yeti. Now a risky move would be to attack past. But I don't want any multi-shots or anything screwing up my day. We're just going to go ahead and do this and pass the turn. So if my opponent has the best card possible, that card would be Deadly Shot. It would be pretty much his entire turn. For 6 mana then, I could actually play like a Knife Juggler, Totem, Mana Wraith. It all dies to Explosive Shot, Trap, which is a bit scary. But, well, it is a common card. I should probably respect that a bit. Yeah, we'll do a Knife Juggler and Raging Worgen, let's say, after the Deadly Shot, which is fine. Then next turn we can just play Storm and Champion and really be off to the races. So my opponent needs some good cards here. Even though it doesn't look that bad, he needs some good cards right now in order to catch back up. Hyena is not really going to do it. He's going to play the old Hyena. No! Interesting. I was thinking that was a kill command. Hyena plus kill command would kill the Chillwind Yeti. Instead what he did was he just set the Chillwind Yeti's health down to 1 so that the Hyena could kill it, I suppose. Well, it's fine. Let's play the Knife Juggler. Yeah, I don't really want to play into... Yeah, I don't want to play into Explosive Trap by toteming and Mana Wraithing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the Hyena from killing the Knife Juggler. I will trade my Yeti in for it. Since flinging a knife at it wouldn't have made a difference, I wanted to do that first and then fling a knife. So now I'm opening myself up to a multi-shot. It's just hard to avoid everything. I guess I could have played a Harvest Golem instead of the Worgen. Oh my god. Okay, so I could have played a Harvest Golem instead of the Worgen to avoid the multi-shot. Then I still have a damaged Golem on the field. Okay, well anyway, I'm still ahead. I've got an extra card now. And a Storm and Champion back here. So we're going to do this, this, pass turn. So my opponent, I gotta give him credit, he's hanging in there. He had the Hunter's Mark to voluntarily 2-for-1 himself to take off my Yeti. Then he had the multi-shot after I played a little bit loosely. The Mana Wraith's not that likely to matter unless there were multiple creatures that he wanted to play. Harvest Golem is nice and sturdy against my opponent's removal, and even with the Mana Wraith, the Storm and Champion's playable next turn at 8 mana. Tundra Rhino is going to pay out for the Tundra Rhino here. Probably to kill my Mana Wraith, I would guess. Oh, my opponent's going for the throat. Well, I guess what my opponent's thinking is, well, these two don't kill it, so why bother? But this changes things. I am actually going to keep the Spell Power Totem around because when I'm holding Fork Landing and Earthshock, it's actually extremely good to have the extra damage. There's a secret. It is likely to be Explosive Trap. There's really not much other secret I could see my opponent caring about and playing so fast and with such fervor. So the Frostwolf Warlord, that's good to see. Unfortunately, I can't really kill it without getting rid of my spell damage totem. I need a Lightning Bolt. That is the thing I don't have. This makes no difference. This I can't play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack with the Mana Wraith and the spell damage totem to kill the Frostwolf Warlord. This dodges that Explosive Trap from killing the Mana Wraith. Okay. Now we see if this is Explosive Trap, as predicted. And look at that, it is. So I get a Golem back. And I swing for 6 damage, which is a good amount of damage. I'm going to make a totem. I will hang on to this Kodo. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that a Kodo could kill that a hunter would play. Buzzards, hyenas, all sorts of stuff. Other junky little beasts. Hunter's Mark, again, it's 2 of these. That's a really questionable card. Multi-shots. Oh god. Well, I mean, even if it had hit, I mean, the best it could have done was hit my Golem and this, leaving me with a spell damage totem, but even so, my opponent's in a bit of trouble here because of this Kodo. So basically, I would have had a Kodo, spell damage totem, and 3 removal cards in my hand, even if the multi-shot had hit the Stormwind Champion. So my opponent took some odds and it didn't work out. That guy's there, alright. Fair enough. Fair enough, so I'm getting down to 12 health, but I should be fine. Let's slip a totem. If that had been spell damage, Earthshock would have killed this. As it is, I could use Lightning Bolt to kill it. Yeah, we'll use Lightning Bolt. I think it's fine. Play the Merfolk, swing. It's important, you know, because I am up against a hunter and because healing totems don't heal me anymore, to try to hurry it up with the damage. Hunters are the class against whom the healing totem nerf is the most significant. Starting Buzzard is not really going to do anything for my opponent here, unfortunately. So he had the hyenas and the buzzards, they just didn't quite come at the right times. War Golem, that's solid. I don't think I even need to flip a... Well, I'll flip a totem. So I could use the Earthshock to kill this thing, but I'd rather just play a War Golem and trade my Merfolk in. That War Golem, I gotta say, I mean, it's not great. I would definitely rather have a Boulder Fist Ogre, but having it is better than not having it. I mean, this was a pretty junky pack if I remember right. So I think it was a reasonable decision anyway. There's a Savannah Highmane. Well, it's too little too late, unfortunately, for my opponent. We are just going to win. It was nice to know that I had the Earthshock to silence this. That's a really good answer to have against the Highmane. You don't want those hyenas popping out. Alright, that was our 6th win. All in all, that was pretty solid. So we took a lot of turns to win. But it was, I would say that the game was never really in top deck mode. I would say as soon as the opening ended, it was like my opponent needs to have really good cards to stay alive mode. And he stayed alive for longer than he could have, but it was still a very, very solid win from start to finish. So we're up to 6 wins. That's really great. Let's see if we can get up to 7. We can lose one more game. A feature I hope not to have to use. The nice thing about safety nets, though, is it's always nice to have it, even if you hope you don't have to use it. Here we're up against Rice Poopy the Warlock. I think as long as he doesn't play a gajillion, scribillion, quintillion, and Blood Imps, I'll be satisfied. Wow. Flametongue Totem. Well, this is actually a time when I will coin out a Novice Engineer. Generally, I don't like doing that, because you're just trading the coin for a card, and I'd rather just keep the coin. But with a Flametongue Totem behind it, I can actually kill almost any 2-drop. I mean, I could kill any 2-drop. What am I talking about? Is there any 2-drop that has 4 mana? I mean, or 4 health? Like, yes, there's like Nat Pagel and some Lorewalker Cho and some other legendaries. Oh, Lightwell. That's a 2-drop with 5 mana. Of course, there's the Doomsayer, everybody's favorite 2-drop. Alright, so what we'll do here... Oh, I was going to make a totem. I'm just going to play another Novice Engineer, though. So the thing is, I want there to be as much stuff on the board already when I play the Flametongue Totem. I don't want this sitting here with a Novice Engineer, the Novice Engineer dies, and then I got a Flametongue Totem. It's just a bit awkward. So we'll see what happens here. If he plays something... that's unfortunate. So I was going to say, if he plays something worth killing, I could just play Flametongue Totem, kill this thing, attack with the other Novice Engineer. As it is, this kind of sucks. Like, I could play a Flame Tongue Totem, kill the thing, kill the golem it spawns, and have a naked Flame Tongue Totem, which I don't really want to do. I also don't want this golem to just munch on my Novice Engineers for nothing either. So what we'll do is we'll play the Grizzly. It technically holds up against the golem, but obviously all my opponent needs is like a Shattered Sun Cleric, or a Shadow Bolt, or a Demon Fire, or anything to take care of this bear. It's not too difficult. But I've got decent cards here, so even if the bear dies and my dreams are crushed, I'll be okay. There's a Shattered Sun Cleric, of course. So there goes down. Let's take a quick look at the situation here. I think it's right to play the Flame Tongue here. So what we can do is we can trade one of the Novice Engineers for that. Let's flip a totem, see what we got. Health, not super relevant. Well, we'll kill this so that the Flame Tongue Totem isn't trivially killable. And we'll pass the turn. So basically, the totem is threatening to kill this golem. He needs another Shattered Sun Cleric or Dark Iron Dwarf or something to actually kill the Flame Tongue. Or a Mortal Coil. He did that way too fast. I knew it was a Mortal Coil as soon as it moved. God darn it. Well, this was a back and forth opening. I don't know who won it. That's a very good card. I really need my Earth Shock. Okay, my opponent won this opening. Not to say that I can't win the game, but my opponent won the opening, that's for sure. This seems kind of sucky to play, but the imp that it spawns would actually be great for popping Divine Shield. Yep, we're going to do this. We're going to play this. I don't want to play the Mana Wraith and just have it die, so we'll just make a totem. I was hoping for a taunt. I did not get it. And now, well, we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of stuff my opponent could play here that'd be pretty good for 6 mana. Just like a, I don't know, any 6 mana creature. Boulder Fist Ogre, Sunwalker, Lord of the Arena. All that would be really great here. So he's gonna pump up that damaged golem and use Shadow Flame on it. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if that was necessary. But, alright. You do what you need to do, man. Let's play Harvest Golem, and I think this is totally worth hexing. If that was his play for 6 mana, then it's fine with me. So now I have a War Golem to drop down to counter whatever his play might be. Stampeding Kodo. Well, could be worse. This still trades for his Abusive Sergeant or kills his Frog. He's drawing a card after playing the Kodo. He should have done that first, and he's going to actually let the Abusive Sergeant die, which kind of dampens the quality of that Stampeding Kodo. So I can play the Magi in this, but the Kodo just kills the thing. I can play the Windfury Harpy. Without help, the Kodo can't quite kill it. But if I'm going to spend all my mana playing a big dude, might as well just play the Golem. This Frog is a problem. The fact that my Golem has to kill this little frog kind of sucks. Let's see, he's got 7 cards, a Frog, and a Kodo. I have 6 cards total, about to draw my 7th. He's up to play first with 8 mana. Yeah, I'd say my opponent has the advantage right now. The early game just went a little bit too well for him. Well, the Pit Lord's interesting, so he does take 5 damage, which is not to be scoffed at. And, he's taking 2 more damage, so he's trying to overrun me. So he made a strategic decision to just go for the throat, using the fact that the Frog is here. Well, I'd like to make him pay for that. If I play this, I can Lightning Bolt this Worgen. If I play this, well, it'll die to the Pit Lord. Wait, no, but if I play this, I can Earthshock the Frog, which is 2 for 1-ing against the Silver Moon Guardian, which is a bit sad. But that's the situation. If I can play this, I can Earthshock the Frog, Lightning Bolt that thing, kill the Pit Lord. I'm at 2 health. Flamed him, could kill this off. I've got a Windfury Harpy. It seems pretty good. But let's keep looking. I could also play the Ogre Magi for spell damage. So now, Earthshock actually kills the Flame Imp. This deals 4 damage. I'd have to flip a good totem. I don't want to have to flip a totem to do good things. It's basically still killing everything. Yeah, we're going to make the Windfury Harpy. This seems like my best play. So, right now, my opponent has 7 cards to my 5, but my cards on the board are way better than his cards, so he needs something good. That is really good, because now he gets to draw cards. Shoot. Well, that blows. He needs a way to deal with this Windfury Harpy, but it's likely that he has it. God Jesus! Damn it. Fuck. That's terrible. Well, my opponent just won the game. I don't see any way of coming back from that. Let's make a totem! Let's just play things. Dark Iron Dwarf wins another game. Damn. That was frustrating. Now, I'm just not going to be able to keep creatures on the board is the problem. He can just kill everything I'm playing every single turn and it makes no difference what I do. God, well, I did the best I could that one turn, but he had the answer that he needed. And that was that. He's going to get more cards off the Cult Master, get even further ahead. Now he can just kill the Mana Wraith and my Healing Totem. So I can't keep any cards on the board anymore. And it's over. Well, he kept the totem around. That's a bit of a risky move. If I had, like, Dark Iron Dwarf or something, I could, like, buff it up and kill it. He actually still has all of his mana to play. Well, let's see what he plays. I'll probably be conceding after he plays his stuff. His life total is not low enough for me to be able to finish him off. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Well, he, had a Harvest Golem at the right time to enable him to win in the opening. And he had that Dark Iron Dwarf at the right time to enable him to win that one brief moment I had advantage. And then I just had no chance, so that was the game. Alright, well, we're at 6-2, which is really depressing. I think I will just have to go into bed and cry if I lose this game. With such a strong deck, going to 6-1 and pooping out would be very depressing. But it is a very strong deck, so I've got a very good chance of beating whoever I play. It's really insult to injury that after having such a crappy run with Warlock... Were both my losses against Warlocks? Yeah. I had the retarded Warlock, and I had that last Warlock. So yeah, both my losses were against Warlocks. That is insult to injury. Beze the Paladin will send back Hex, it's better in the late game. Knife Juggler is a delight. So here it's good to be first, because when you're on curve, having the coin doesn't really make any difference. Lets you basically, like... If you, like, skip a spot with the coin, then you don't have anything on the next spot. So this 2, 3, 4, 5 is really good to be on curve. Okay, well, that's good. I'm going to play the Knife Juggler. We're off to a good start. My opponent, of course, can also have a good hand, but I do for now. Well, depending on what this is, will affect whether I do the Golem or the Wit or the Worgen. So, against... Well, when would I do the Golem over the Worgen? I don't know, actually. I think I would just always play the Worgen. Seems to me that would be the best move. Okay, so the Knife Juggler is going to kill this Novice Engineer. So I want to do this first, and then fling the knife, because if the knife had hit the Novice Engineer, it wouldn't have helped. So I would have potentially thrown away a point of damage, which probably won't matter, but you never know. Sometimes every little point makes a difference. So this is a bit of a problem for my opponent. If he doesn't have a good card to play, he can't make a Recruit. That would just let me turn Wind Fury on. So he actually has to play a real card. If he has the coin, that would be a good time to use it so that he could kill this thing. Alright, well, let's take a look. I could trade the Knife Juggler, say he's done his job, and keep attacking with the Wind Fury, or with the Raging Worgen. I could Hex the Worgen, kill it, attack, or I could attack, and then Hex. I feel like the right move here is just to get rid of this Worgen, though. So we'll trade like that, play the Yeti, swing. I mean, I'd say that I won the opening. My opponent can, of course, come back, but if this is what my board looks like coming out of the opening and all of his cards are in his hand, I'd say that I won. He's got 8 cards here, one of which is the coin, one of which is the card he got for going second, so the fact that I have 6 is not actually a problem. Still can't really play Recruits unless he kills us with a Hammer of Wrath or with a True Silver Champion, both of which would be his entire turn, and leaving me with a Yeti on the board. Unfortunately, my follow-up is a bit lacking. I can't play the Kodo without wasting it, and I can't play this without putting the Yeti back into my hand, so I had to be making a Totem and the Golem, which is not the most impressive 5-mana play. My opponent seems to be really getting crushed by this Worgen. It's not doing anything other than sitting here and attacking for 3, but judging by how much he's thinking, it really seems as though he's getting crushed by what it's preventing him from doing. Stampeding Kodo. So he chooses the least of all evils is to waste the Stampeding Kodo completely. Well, that is desperation. I think this is worth hexing to press my advantage. So the question is, do I keep the frog or leave it alive and deal like 3 extra damage? Let's actually go ahead and deal the 3 extra damage. And the reason I'm doing that is that my Stampeding Kodo will then have a target. Now, if he plays a different thing with, 2 power or less, then I can just kill the frog and use the Stampeding Kodo anyway. So might as well get the damage on, keep the pressure going. So next turn, let's say he plays some generic creature X. I play the Kodo, kill the frog, swing for 7, he's down to 12 health, and we're on our way to 7 wins. This was a game that I won probably just because I had, a good curve. Alright, the True Silver Champion is... This is one of the few times where it's actually not that impressive. Amazingly enough. Because what happens now is I just play the Kodo, kill that frog. He's down to 14 health, and the True Silver Champion kills neither of my creatures. So he just basically played a 4 mana take a damage to kill an opponent's creature thing, and he doesn't get to do much with it. I mean, he can kill my totem and gain 2 life, but it's pretty mediocre as far as True Silver Champions are concerned. Questing Adventure is really not what he wants. What he really wants is like a Sunwalker or something. This is, oh man, my poor opponent is just not catching any breaks. He cannot seem to get anything good whatsoever. Like, a Sunwalker would have actually kept him in the game, because it holds up pretty well against my guys. But he didn't have it, so now I think the best way to press my advantage is with Wind Fury Harpy that I just drew. Seems pretty good. And we still have a Lightning Bolt for the Questing Adventure. Let's kill this Demolisher. And keep on swinging. So this is 8 damage. Ah, boy. I gotta reverse my opinion about this Harpy. Its stats are terrible, but when you have an empty board and need to drop a good creature, this is just so obnoxious for your opponents to deal with. Because if they can't kill it, it's 8 potential damage, which is a lot. Equality plus Consecration would, hilariously enough, keep my opponent in the game right now. Because it would kill everything I had for 6 mana. That would be his whole turn. He'd have 5 cards left. I'd have 4 cards to start my turn. So I'd have a life advantage against him, but it would be anyone's game. Alright, he does not have that particular combo. He's going to try to hold the fort here with this Imp Master. Earthshock arrived at the perfect time. And let's just not hesitate. Let's not forget either that the Wind Fury Harpy attacks twice, and let's win the game. Right, well that was a really refreshing game after the pain that we have endured at the hands of awful warlocks. We get a nice, easy win against the Paladin, and we're up to 7 wins. Woo! So, it's like, I've forgotten what this feels like. To have 7 wins. To have my gold go in the upward direction at the end of the arena, rather than in the downward direction. What a strange sensation. So for a while, my success rate in the arena was 60%. It's steadily ticking downwards, and I wonder if it's going to start ticking downwards and end up at around in the 30s. That's kind of what I've been doing lately. I've been kind of getting to 7 in 1 out of every 3 arenas. So, looks like people are evolving faster than I am. We'll have to step up our game here. Minja the Warrior is stepping up to the plate. Well, this is a pretty good start. Hex can wait. This might be good for removal. And let's take a look at the situation. Oh man, I think I'm going to coin out the Mana Wraith. I mean, that would mean that all my opponent can play on turn 2 are 1-drops. Alright, we're going to do it. This is probably a terrible idea, but basically, he can only play 1-drops right now. He's the first player, so no coin for him. Probably going to do nothing but armor up. I can't play my Novice Engineer, but I can make a totem, so I get a few turns where I can make totems in relative safety. Now, of course, my opponent could play like a Slam or a Fiery War Axe and just kill this, but that's fine. Slam. Alright, well, so basically I spent a 2-mana card to use up one of his removal spells. I now get to play this and draw a card. I got a pretty good 3-drop. I actually have 2 good 3-drops. Really can't complain about those first couple of turns. He is really thinking about that card. Warsong Commander. So, I understand why my opponent was worried about that. Because basically, if I have any kind of removal, I will use it on this thing and it will die. And in fact, I have removal, so I will use it on that thing and it will die. If I didn't draw this Lightning Bolt, I would have used Hex. So, it's a bit sad using Hex on a 3-drop, but it's a testament to how good the Warsong Commander is. I don't know, that card just seems really crazy to me. But basically, if you can let it live, and all your creatures charge, the game goes totally out of control. So next turn at 4 mana, I cannot play the Ogre Magi, who I don't think I've played once in this game. But that's fine, we'll get to play a Flesh-Eating Ghoul, I think. Well, are we? It just dies to this Weaponsmith. I don't know. I don't wanna hex that. That seems dumb. Totems are too slow. I think we have to do this. Man, I guess Warriors do have a lot of really crazy cards. This card is nuts. The Warsong Commander is nuts. Fiery War Axe is nuts. Maybe that's the thing about Warriors. You just gotta use their nuts cards. I really hope my opponent plays a Gurubashi Berserker. That would just be living the dream. I've done it before, but I haven't lived the dream in a while, where I use the Stampeding Kodo to kill a Gurubashi Berserker or a Mogushan Warden. Those are just the best feelings. Come on, man. Oblige me here. Oblige me. It's my birthday. It's not really my birthday. Ah, Pine-Sized Summoner. That's a remarkably tame play for turn 5. Abusive Sergeant. Ah, so he's going to get to kill off my Imp Master and my Novice Engineer. I see. Well, the unfortunate thing is that I actually don't want to play Stampeding Kodo. I mean, I could use the Imp to kill that, and I could play Stampeding Kodo to kill the Pine-Sized Summoner, but I do have this Forked Lightning over here, and a Flesh-Eating Ghoul. We'll do this. That just seems too good not to take. So basically I do that, and then this, and my Flesh-Eating Ghoul is a 6/3. Now, Fiery War Axe will kill it, other stuff will kill it, Kor'kron Elite, Wolf Rider, whatever, but I mean a 6/3, 3 mana 6/3, even though it can die, it's still a good card. We're going to be overloaded next turn, we can only play the Ogre Magi, and that's it. Whereas so I'm responding to my opponent's 6 mana play with 4 mana. Which is a definite problem, but still, a 6/3 is a pretty good card. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, now I could trade it for the Violet Teacher, or I could just hex the Violet Teacher. I think we're going to go ahead and swing, and then we're going to hex. That is worth hexing. There's a chance that my opponent will play something outrageous, but he had 6 mana. Most of the really outrageous cards in this game are the 6 mana cards. I mean, you could have like an Epic Giant or something, but whatever, it's fine. We'll do that. I wish I had the hex for this, of course. What are you going to do? You're going to lose your Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Oh, wow. That could actually be a problem. Please put her on the frog. Yes, thank you. Okay. So the way to go forward here is, let's kill the frog. Grow even more. Doesn't matter, sadly. I don't have any taunt. I could try to flip for a taunt, but that seems dumb. We can play the Stampeding Kodo to kill this Priestess. That's one option. Yeah, let's do that. Or we can play the Golem. Let's make the Kodo. The Kodo is big enough to kill the Silver Moon Guardian. That's mostly what I care about. So slip a Totem. Taunt would have been nice, alas. We're going to do the Kodo to kill his 1-drop. And pass the turn. So this thing's clearly going to have a Divine Shield get popped against it, which I am fine with. Lord of the Arena is a solid play. Stampeding Kodo, even with the Stormwind Champion's help, cannot quite kill this, unfortunately. And I cannot play Stormwind Champion and Blue Glue Warrior. Oh, that sucks. Wow, Blue Glue Warrior. Could run them both in. What I have left? 6 mana. I can't play either of my 7-drops. Here's where this being a Boulder Fist Ogre would have been nice. Let's draw a card first. Earthshock. Well, I could play the Ogre Magi, Earthshock, silence this, deal 2 damage to it, and trade the Kodo in. Or just kill the Silver Moon Guardian. I could just, no, I think actually I like this move a lot. I wish the Earthshock could deal 3 damage, but we can't have everything. If this didn't have taunt, I would deal Earthshock on here and throw away the Novice Engineer, but instead we're going to Earthshock this. Oh no, this has summoning sickness, what am I talking about? Then we're going to kill the Silver Moon Guardian. So we basically get card disadvantage, because we're going to have to, we used a card on this, and we're going to have to use another card to kill it. But I got some of that back through the Novice Engineer and through the fact that the Kodo killed a creature and lived to tell about it. Now I've got 2 good 7-drops. So unless my opponent has some amazing plays, I will play one after the other and overrun him. So we'll see if I can actually get to live that dream. He's gonna heal up the guy. I don't care about that. That doesn't really matter to me very much. At all. So he's gonna get to kill my creature and live to tell about it. That, I don't really care. This is very innocuous on the 9th turn of the game. He's gonna get rid of my spell power, which is a good decision. He's gonna play a Raging Worgen, which I don't care about in the slightest, and an Emperor Cobra, which I also don't care about. Wow. Well, that was rather perfect. I don't think I even need the Hex. I think all we need is Stormwind Champion and Bluegill Warrior. The Healing Totem is nice, but not so nice that I won't kill. Can I win? No. Not so nice that I won't kill a 6-1 with it. I think the best answer for this, sadly this only with 2 damage doesn't really kill anything. We're going to just kill that thing to stop my Stormwind Champion from dying. Then we'll kill the Raging Worgen to stop it from getting Wind Fury against the Novice Engineer, and then we're going to swing with the Novice Engineer. Well, okay. I mean, the game is pretty much won here. I have this, the War Golem, and a Hex. I mean, I don't know what my opponent could have. Brawl, flip 1 in 4 odds of getting this, and that's a start. Maybe some kind of a legendary, although I can Hex any legendary. Yeah, my opponent's just pretty screwed. Ninja, the Warrior Ninja, is gonna give me my 8th win. Cruel Taskmaster is not the hero that Gotham needs, unfortunately, for my opponent. He's gonna get to kill my Novice Engineer, which I'm fine with. Manatide Totem, that's funny. Well, let's just play this. I don't even need the do I need the Manatide? It can technically live. Yeah, we'll do this. So I draw a card from the Manatide. My opponent's going to need like the help of a Dark Iron Dwarf or another Cruel Taskmaster to kill this thing. Plus he has a 7/7 and a 6/3 to contend with, the 7/7 being buffed. It's hopeless. Okay, that is going to help him kill my Stormwind Champion. But he dies in the process. And so I have a Hex. Actually, well, this is even better. Use my Manatide Totem to put out some beats. Opponent is being rather brave here, hanging on for dear life. As I'm drawing 2 cards per turn. Even a Brawl, having the Air Totem live wouldn't do it. That is interesting. Let's just kill it. I mean, if he does play a Brawl, I still win, so I don't care. Let's just seal the deal in the next turn here. No Brawl. Whirlwind does finish off some stuff. And now he's dead. It's a good choice, sir, because that's what you had anyway. Well, we had a lot of really strong games. Those Warlocks, for some odd reason, causing no end of trouble to Papa Boris the Shaman. Well, let's see if we can get up to 9 wins. This is mostly for pride. I don't really care that much about the gold or the cards or anything. It's all about the pride. Just having another 9-win run that I can post and be like, ha, I don't suck. Alright, Code Strength, the Shaman, so it's a mirror matchup here. Tricky call is, do I keep the Earth Shock? Yeah, we'll keep the Earth Shock. So basically what's happening here is a totem on turn 2, one of these guys on turn 3, and then, well, we'll see where the deck takes us. Could have mulliganed one of my 3-drops in the Earth Shock to increase my odds of having a play on turn 2, but I feel like having this around is nice. And maybe this is partially influenced emotionally by the fact that earlier I mulliganed an Earth Shock and my opponent played a Scarlet Crusader, and that was really frustrating. Murloc Tidehunter, So Earth Shock can kill the main one, but not the 1/1, which is a bit sad. Let's just make a totem. The 1/1 would have been the best, because it would have allowed me to kill one of those Murlocs. As it is, I'll probably play Flesh-Eating Ghoul and allow my opponent to trade things in for it if he wishes. I'd rather lose the Ghoul than the Bear, because although the Ghoul can get really, really big, the Bear has Taunt, and the Taunt can come into play. Well, I'd say my opponent won the opening, because I had a slow start. This is actually not a very good card, but it was rather perfect for my opponent, because I wasn't able to deal with it effectively, and then he was able to just play good stuff and win. Alright, Novice Engineer would stop me from playing the bear. Sure, we'll play the Novice Engineer. I can then make another totem, like Flame Tongue. Oh, wait, I could play Flame Tongue now to kill his healing totem. The risk of that is that my opponent would just play an overload card, and then this would become a 3/5 and kill my totem. So let's not do that. Let's just make another totem. So here, at the moment, my opponent can really only kill one of the things I have, and then that hopefully will leave two things around. None of this should be worth using removal on, and then the Flame Tongue totem could help. Oh god. The thing about Unbound Elemental, this 4 health is very difficult to deal with. Even the Flame Tongue totem doesn't quite get the job done. Lightning Bolt, if I flip a Spell Power, I mean I have a 50-50 chance of flipping Spell Power. Even if I don't, I can always play Flame Tongue Totem afterwards. So we're going to play a flip for a Spell Power. We got it. Okay. We're going to do that. Now, the main option I have here is either Rockbiter Weapon and use Searing Totem to kill this off, or play Flame Tongue Totem and then use both the Novice Engineer and the Searing Totem to kill it off. I'm going to do the Flame Tongue Totem, and you know why? Because we have a conga line here. I can actually use the Healing Totem. So it's a matter of... So basically, I get to choose. I get to choose whether I leave this or whether I leave this. It's a tricky choice. I guess I'll leave the Healing Totem around. Well, let me think about this. What's better to leave around, the 1/1 or a Healing Totem? This could actually matter. I think the 1/1 is better to leave around right now because there's nothing here that's going to need healing anytime soon. I need to remember then to put creatures on the left side of this Flame Tongue right now. So I'd say actually I ended up coming out ahead thanks to the Spell Power flip, the Lightning Bolt, and the Flame Tongue Totem. I took out 2 of his very high quality 3-drops in stride. He's got 6 cards to my, well, 8, technically, 2 of which are totems, and 3rd is also a totem, although it is still a real card. And I've got some pretty good stuff. Stormwind Champions are 2 turns away. Next turn I only have 5 mana because I'm overloaded. That's enough though to play the Knife Juggler and the Bear. He's going to silence. Well, I'm okay with that because I do get to kill it with Rockbiter Weapon if I wish, or I could play this thing. I wish I wasn't overloaded. Then I could play this and kill it with Rockbiter Weapon. Yeah, let's go ahead and play the Bear. Well, I could play Knife Juggler. I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to play Knife Juggler, Totem. Unfortunately, the fling didn't matter. Oh, I could Earth. I could actually Earth Shock it and kill it that way. Huh. What's more important, to keep an eye on an Earth Shock or to keep her on a Rockbiter Weapon? I think the Rockbiter Weapon. So we'll do that. Swing for 1. My opponent, if he was luckier than me in the draft, he could have drafted a Lightning Storm that would wipe out everything, except for maybe this silenced Flame Tongue. But 3 of these things are totems, and this has been silenced, so it's not really that big of a deal. It would really just be killing the Knife Juggler at this point. Fire Elemental, of course. It wouldn't be a game without Fire Elementals. Oh my god, I just realized. Holy shit! I never saw a single Fire Elemental in this draft. Wow, that is sad. Well, let's just play this, I suppose. Lightning Bolt conveniently, thanks to spell damage, deals 4, so with my 1/1 totem that I epically chose to keep, I get to kill off the Fire Elemental in stride. My opponent could use a Hex right now against this. That would be really nice. That's really the best answer Shamans have, I think. What else could he have? Fire Elemental and Lightning Bolt or something? Yep, there's the Hex. Papa Boris calling the plays, calling the opponent's plays since 2013. Now, the nice thing is I have all these creatures, so Stormwind Champion's actually pretty sweet. I'm overloaded, but I'm going to be at 8, so I can play him for 7 mana. This is another really good card. Screw it. I'm just going to put my 7/7 here, or my 6/6 here. I ignore his guy, whatever. We'll swing for 4 dinks here. I've got 2 totems protecting my guy. If he has another Hex, he has another Hex. He can go suck a dog. And I just got a lot of stuff here, which is nice. He needs some good cards to stay in it. Now he's got 5 in this. I've got 5 and 3. Knife Juggler, not really that great at the moment. All my stuff is at pretty good health. Frostwolf Warlord is decent. Here's where I wish I had an Earth Shock instead of Rockbiter Weapon. But I can kill this if I need to, so it's fine. So let's see, this is a 3-2 with Rockbiter Weapon. I mean, it's 2 for 1-ing, but I mean, it's either that or I throw away 3 totems. That doesn't seem really worth it. Yeah, I'm going to 2 for 1 myself. I'm going to do this. Rockbiter Weapon. Wait, can I win? Hang on. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, I can't win. Okay. So we're going to kill the guy that way. I will actually just kill off this Knife Juggler. What do I throw away? I'm going to throw away the Spell Power Totem. I mean, you might think, like, well, why throw that away? But the thing is, first of all, I'm not that unlikely to get another one. And second of all, I want to keep my taunts, actually. So this guy's hitting for 6. And the Harvest Golem is nice. It's resistant to lightning storms. And it gets me some more extra damage. Some more extra damage on the field. Alright, my opponent needs another Hex real bad. Given that he played a bunch of Chumper stuff last turn and a Frostwolf Warlord, it's pretty clear he does not have a Hex. So all these little things are dealing a damage a turn, which is like amounting to 4 damage a turn, plus the 6/6 body. So the Stormwind Champion, I don't remember what I took him over, but boy am I glad that I took him. He's in a bit of trouble. We've got 4, 10, 13 damage, so he's still alive for a turn. More if he flips a Taunt Totem, but I've got 1, 2, 3 real cards and some junk to his, well, 5 real cards. Ah, that is actually one of the best Wind Speakers I have seen in a while. Wow. So he's going to kill off the frog. I'm glad I kept all this taunt around. Unless he gets some help, this guy's not going to be able to kill my Stormwind Champion. Oh man, he's going to go for it. What the heck? Ah, Rockbiter Weapon. Well played. So now this guy drops back to being a 2-3, and I don't actually have enough damage to kill the Wind Speaker. So actually, this is an even game because he's got this stupid axe here. Bah. Well, we can do a wombo combo here, folks. It's actually really annoying that he got a totem, but it's fine. What we're going to do, let's play this very carefully, we're going to do the Ancient Brewmaster to pop back the Flame Tongue. Oh man, I'm going to call this a pro play. I think this makes up for an epic fail. So you carefully, don't just blindly use your 2-3 to kill off the totem. You first put the Flame Tongue back. This allows your golem to kill off his real creature. And do I flip a totem or do I play the bear? Well, the bear protects my stuff. But it also makes me vulnerable to lightning storm. What is he going to hit with this axe? This? I'm actually going to keep the bear back. I mean, the lightning storm is a rare, so it's not like horrifically unlikely for him to draw it. We're about halfway through the deck. Neither of us like has any card draw. I think I played a Novice Engineer, didn't I? It's been so long, this game has been going on forever. Alright. Let's take a look. He's got a totem, and... what you got, bud? 7-4? Coming your way? What you gonna do? You gonna call Ghostbusters? There are no Ghostbusters here. They don't deliver in this area. Alright, well, the frog is still buffed by the Flame Tongue totem. I would have actually hit something else first. Oh, he's actually not even gonna touch it. Alright, fair enough. Well, the Manatide totem is really good, so I will play that. And since I have this taunting frog here, I'm going to just trust that to protect my Manatide totem. And we're going to make it... ah, shoot, I messed up. I should have put the Manatide totem over here. So if the healing totem died, the Flame Tongue would buff it. I don't have any space to put my bear. I don't think I have... yeah, this is a problem because I actually could make another totem. I have the 1-1, the taunt, the heal. I don't have the spell damage. But I guess it's nice that I have 2 taunts protecting my Manatide here. He's preserving his life. He's not hitting this frog. So this guy was well positioned. He's going to heal himself up. Well, if that's the best that he can do, he is in what I like to call serious ass trouble. Can I win? 2, 4, 6, 7. I cannot. Well. I see no reason to let him keep a 3-3 around. So we'll just throw some stuff away. kill off the spell damage to make Lightning Storm less good. We'll play a Chillwind Yeti. Hoop a totem. Call it a day. I'm drawing a lot of cards, so I don't mind if he somehow clears this out and stabilizes. I don't feel like overextending, because even if he does clear this out, I want to have some cards in my hand to replay them, and I've got lots of cards. Alright, there's the Yeti. Another totem. If there's one thing this guy knows how to do well, it's flip taunt totems like a boss. Luckily, Stampeding Kodo is a good card. Kadoosh. Can I win? 4, 7, 9, not quite. Well, here's the issue. So, he can finally use this axe to kill my frog, and then the Yeti can go to town, but whatever. What's he gonna kill? My Manatite Totem that drew me umpteen Kerjillion cards? Fine. I've drawn 4 more cards than he has. Yeah, he's in serious trouble. Even a Lightning Storm with these 2 5 toughness creatures isn't going to save him. Boulder Stoker, that actually would have been a really good card earlier. I think there was a window in this game when he could have played something big but just didn't have it. He's going to go ahead and kill that frog. And I'm going to go ahead, finally like gets the moral victory killing that Manatite Totem. I'm going to go ahead and claim my 9th win of the arena. Oh my god. Well, we had a close run-in with some Warlocks, but I thought this was a strong deck, and for once, there's a minority of times, but for once I was right. So if you enjoyed this run, do please like and or subscribe. I would appreciate that tremendously. And if you just can't get enough of Papa Boris, and you're in a good mood like I am, then stick around. It is time for Papa Boris's Happy Fun Time bonus hour. What is our 9-win prize going to be? I bet it's a pack with a legendary in it. Oh, this is a lot of gold. Wow, double pack and like a lot of gold. What is this, 115? 140 or 245? I think that's the most I've ever seen for 9 wins. I really think that's the most. I'll have to double check in my spreadsheet, but that's up there. So 245 and 2 packs. I'm pretty happy about that. Every pack brings me a little bit step closer to that next legendary or the full collection. This pack was total trash. That's okay though. Most of them are. You can't really get upset when they're total trash. And we have another light well. I think I've already got enough light wells. No, I did not apparently have enough light wells. That was just 5 duplicate commons and 2 new rares. Do I have like? Yes, I have 2 golden ones and 2 regular ones. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and disenchant these golden ones. I think honestly, playing with a golden light well is such bad trolling. It should be. What? What do you mean less than it? I have 2 regular ones, you dumb game. The heck? Okay. Anyway, so that's going to be it for that. Let's go ahead and take a sneak peek at our next arena. I am going to bed now. Our next arena is going to be a mage, a warlock, or a rogue. Alright folks, thanks so much for watching once again. If you enjoyed, please like and or subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Till then.